So with that, let's move on to your tip of the week, Eric. Now, it's interesting. There was a lot of talk about cybersecurity at the Enable event. They didn't announce very much in that realm, but you've got some thoughts about cybersecurity this week.
I do, Rich. And, again, a lot of my tips come from, you know, actual real world scenarios that I'm helping MSPs work through. And, a lot of the conversations that I have with my MSP clients are around, adjusting their services and solutions to meet the needs of today's modern business owners, right? So we're past the pandemic. We are now fully in the, cloud movement. We are fully into cybersecurity moving forward. We're fully into, hybrid support. Maybe it's not full remote support as it was during the pandemic, but we're seeing these new challenges crop up and new threats. AI, while it delivers the great promise, it also opens up a lot of vulnerabilities. Even VPNs now are being, attacked. So what we thought was a secure way to, access company data now is also a point of vulnerability because, these cyber criminals are just getting so much better at what they're doing. And so in having these conversations with these MSPs, Rich, they're trying to solve for how do I get my clients, notwithstanding I want to sell them all my other stuff too, but how do I get them just to say yes to enhanced or strengthened cybersecurity so that I can at least get them to where I feel we can manage it and, we can sleep good at night or better at night knowing that they have subscribed to these services because as you know, Rich, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when there is going to be somebody clicking on some phishing email or some, data gets caught up in some kind of a breach. Passwords are being, bandied about and given away now on dark websites. So this is a real scenario where the MSPs feel like, boy, my clients got me hamstringed here. They won't allow me to deploy the services that I know that they need. And I'm just waiting for the shoe to drop when we have to come in and remediate and then figure out how the client's going to pay for it because we are not aligning these services to demonstrate compliance against the client's cyber liability insurance policy. And as you know, Rich, we've talked about this a lot on the program. These cyber liability, these carriers are looking for ways to deny claims and even cancel policies because I think they got in a little bit too far, too fast. And now we're kind of doing a reset here. So my tip of the week is all about how to get your clients to say yes to enhanced cybersecurity, not because you beg and plead them to, and because because you want them to trust you and do it, but because of the fact that their cyber liability insurance policy requires them to demonstrate compliance in these 6, 7, or 8 categories, which include things like backup and disaster recovery. They include things like end user security awareness training, include things like multi-factor authentication, and all the other things that we want small business owners to incorporate into their cybersecurity awareness and make sure that they are bought in and focused on this, just like MSPs and MSSPs and solution providers want them to be. So the conversation simply goes like this, Rich. Hey, can we sit down and take a look at your cyber liability insurance policy, Mr. and Mrs. Client? That's it. So once you look at the cyber liability insurance policy, you can say to them, well, you know that this is like car insurance, right? I mean, if you don't maintain your vehicle, or if it's out of compliance, or if you don't, renew your tags, whatever, and you get in an accident, whether it's your fault or not, you're going to have to fight with your insurance carrier about them paying your claims. Who hasn't had that pleasure in life, Rich, right? So now it becomes even more scary because it's a business and there are customers involved and there are employees involved and lots of lives that can be impacted because that client is simply not connecting the dots to say, oh, wow, I have to do these things. So in case something happens, I shouldn't have a lot of struggle getting the carrier to approve my claims and help me through this difficult time. That's the approach, Rich. We're helping them understand that, hey, you're paying for this policy. It isn't cheap, but how would you feel if you're paying for this policy? It's not cheap. You have an incident and the bill comes to tens of thousands of dollars and the insurance company will not pay for it, right? That's the no-win scenario. The Kobayashi Maru for our Star Trek fans out there.
And the bill is going to be more than tens of thousands of dollars. You look at the average damages in an incident, and it's way north of that. You know, I've had this conversation with a number of MSPs in the last year, year and a half or so. I think there's universal agreement among MSPs that cyber insurance is a pain in the you-know-what, let's say, Eric. I mean, the questionnaires and the whole thing, nobody enjoys it. But the really smart ones understand that it is both a burden and an opportunity for exactly the reason that you just explained. So if you're dealing with a client that doesn't yet have insurance, but understands that they need it, then the application process is going to make clear to them, you've got to be doing these 8 things or you're not going to get insurance. And that becomes an opportunity to get them to do things that you've been wanting them to do for a while and they've perhaps been resisting. There is also the opportunity. You know, I was just at a partner panel at this Enable event yesterday, and these were some pretty big, sophisticated MSPs we're talking about. But all of them basically had experience with clients. You know, they would come into a new client. The client would tell them, yeah, we've already got cyber insurance. They would kind of ask the client, who helped you fill out the form? And the answer would sometimes be, oh, our agent did that. Well, you don't know what the agent said, if any of it was accurate. And if there were any inaccuracies, you're not going to get paid when a claim is filed. And so there, too, there's not an opportunity to look at what they're doing, compare that to what they should be doing, and close those gaps. And the client should thank you for that as well as pay you for it.
You're not going to get any disagreement from me on that, Rich. So it's a thing that we have to educate these clients about in order to get them to do the right thing. And what I like best about this approach, Rich, is, hey, it's not us telling them that they have to do it. It's their carrier who they're paying lots of money to and probably have a lot of other insurance, business insurance, and E&O and all that stuff wrapped into this thing. So, it is much more compelling when you say, well, you're not doing these things. We can help. Here's our enhanced security package. Sign here. Let's get it going so we don't, lose a lick of sleep over this.